Hello and welcome to Wineskins, a program featuring reflections on the lives of the saints and the sacred scriptures, along with a variety of topics and issues from a Catholic perspective. I'm your host, Father Jim Korda. Our show is sponsored by the annual Bishop's Appeal, the Catholic Communication Campaign, and St. Paul's Catholic Books and Gifts, a division of the Society of St. Paul. On our show today, I will interview Fritz Schleuter, who is principal of St. Thomas Aquinas School in Louisville. We will also hear more about the life of St. Blase and the readings for this fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time. That and more on Wineskins. In our current issue segment, I will speak with Mark Oles. With me now is Mark Oles, who is a president of Cardinal Mooney High School. Welcome to Wineskins.
Thank you for having me.
And Mark, I think because we're in the midst of Catholic Schools Week, we'd like to get a nice flavor from you as president of one of our premier Catholic high schools as to how things are going at Cardinal Mooney. Please let us know.
Things are going great. The students are doing amazing things. By the time this piece airs in Catholic Schools Week, we're really going to be doing things out in the community for service to really show our Catholic identity, to make our students become better people in everything they do, and then when they leave our halls, they go out and become leaders out in the world, wherever God takes them.
Now tell us a little bit about some of the day-to-day things that you do as president of Cardinal Mooney.
Yeah, day-to-day it changes every day, but it's exciting every day. So there's some days where I'm focused solely on fundraising every single day, trying to meet donors, cultivate donors, to get them to commit to Catholic education, to help out Mooney and advance our mission. Other days I'm working on the marketing. There's other things about working on the business operation side of it to manage our finances and our facilities and things of that nature. So day to day it could change. Day to day I could do 10 different things. Some days I could do one thing all day, but it's very exciting.
We know that over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of money that went into Cardinal Mooney to really upgrade the building itself, and so that really is a positive thing. Why is it important for you to be in touch with folks to give of their treasure to the school for its longevity?
Yeah, so we definitely always want to thank the Denise DeBartolo and John York gift that we received. It was very, very grateful, and their generosity is truly appreciated by our students and our faculty and staff. Why we got to keep asking, because in 2017 or 18, when this is being distributed, Catholic education is so important to have people grow in their faith, to have people have an opportunity to give back to where they're from. There's so many opportunities, and scientifically, you feel good when you give back. And our goal, and one of my goals, is just get more people to give back because it does feel good, and it's living out what we should be doing as Christian Catholics in this world.
Now, you're an alumnus of Cardinal Mooney yourself, so tell us about some of the things that you do with the Alumni Association.
Yeah, so we're constantly trying to reach out to our alumni. Our alumni are all over the world. We have different avenues between email, between our print publications, things like that. I'm always trying to get more people back in the fold. Just recently, I had 2 graduates from the class of 1969, 1973 who've never been back to Mooney, who've never given to Mooney, come back, get a tour, and now they gave to Mooney. And it may not seem like much, but those types of things get these people back in the fold and help advance our mission.
And what are some of the things that are actually going on in the school now, especially during Catholic Schools Week, that really highlight the efforts not only of you and the staff, but of the student?
So our 3 pillars are sanctity, scholarship, and discipline, and we always display those in everything we do. And in Catholic Schools Week, everyone can come see what we're all about. Sunday, February 4th, is our open house that everyone's cordially invited, whether you're in high school currently or if you're in grade school or thinking about Catholic schools for your son or daughter. Love for you to come out between 12 and 4 and see the campus, meet the students, meet the faculty. It's a great way to really find out more about what Mooney is all about.
In our last few minutes together, what would be some of the things down the road that you would like to see happen at Cardinal Mooney and also for Catholic education?
The need is very great for financial support to go to Catholic schools, whether you're at Mooney, Ursuline, JFK. The need of this area for the socioeconomics, it's very hurting for people to afford Catholic education. So what I would hope and envision and need to work towards is more family scholarships, memorial scholarships to help students make Catholic education possible. It truly lasts a lifetime, and it's a great benefit, and it's a great way to give back to others.
And what do you hope to happen, especially among the student body, during Catholic Schools Week?
I want them to experience the things I experienced when I was in Catholic schools for 12 years. I wanted to have their own flavor for their own experiences for that week, but I want them to recognize how great it is, because I could tell you in the first week of college, I knew it was different. I was at public university. There was not a crucifix anywhere. There was teachers that did not care if I came and talked to them or even wanted to get to know me. It was a vast difference between what I experienced for 12 years. So I want them to appreciate what they have. And it might not happen that week. It might be 10 years later, but I want them to know it's a special experience.
And in closing, if there are folks that are with us that would like to contribute to Cardinal Mooney or get involved with Cardinal Mooney or somehow come to visit, how would they get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
So if you're a prospective family, cardinalmooney.com, and you can apply online. If you want to give to Mooney, we greatly appreciate cardinalmooney.com/support. You could always call the school and ask for the president's office, and I'll personally give you a tour or answer any questions you have. So it's 330-788-5007.
Mark Oles, president of Cardinal Mooney High School here in Youngstown, thank you so much for being with us. God bless you in your work and continued good luck, especially during Catholic Schools Week.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
For Wineskins, I'm Father Jim Korda. The Feast of St. Blase is celebrated on Saturday. To tell us more about this bishop and martyr is Diana Hancharenko. She is the young adult minister at St. Angela Merici Church in Youngstown.
According to the Latin Martyrology, the Feast of St. Blase is celebrated on the day of his death. His feast is found in the calendar of Naples in the 9th century and in Rome in the 10th century. His cult became widespread in the 11th and 12th centuries, especially in Germany, where he was considered a helper in need. Blase, the Bishop of Sebest in Armenia, is the only representative of the Armenian Church in the Roman liturgy. Biographical details are very scarce, and therefore his legend has been embellished so much that he has become one of the most popular saints in the Middle Ages. The first representation of Blase is found in the lower church of the Basilica of St. Clement in Rome, dating back to the 9th century. His relics were widely distributed, which is evidence of his popularity. It is said that during the persecution of the Christians in Sebest in the year 320, that the governor imprisoned Blase in a cave, and that wild beasts came to him to be cured. It is also said that a mother came to the bishop asking him to cure her son who was choking on a fishbone stuck in his throat, and the bishop saved the boy with a prayer and the sign of the cross. For that reason, St. Blase is venerated as patron of those suffering from diseases of the throat. He was eventually condemned to death and was beheaded in 316. He is venerated in the East on February 11th and in the West on February 3rd. In many churches of the Latin Rite, 2 candles are tied together or held together in the form of a St. Andrew's cross and applied to the throat as the priest pronounces a special invocation to St. Blase to protect the individual against diseases of the throat. During the 15th and 16th centuries in Germany, St. Blase was invoked in cases of hemorrhage and ulcers. In the opening prayer of the Mass, we ask God, through the intercession of St. Blase, to give us the joy of his peace in this life and eternal happiness in heaven. If St. Blase is invoked as a powerful intercessor for the health of the body, it is because he was a martyr for the Church. He gave witness to the sufferings of Christ. As a bishop, he also, like St. Peter, heard the words of Christ, "Feed my sheep," meaning, sacrifice yourself for my sheep. The relevance of this feast can be found in the fact that it falls in the middle of winter, as if to remind us that there is no redemption or healing of the body that is not effected through sacrifice. Lord, hear the prayers of your martyr Blase. Give us the joy of your peace in this life, and help us to gain the happiness that will never end. For Wineskins, I'm Diana Hancharenko.
With me now is Fritz Schleuter, who is the principal of St. Thomas Aquinas High School and Middle School. Welcome to Wineskins.
Oh, thank you, Father. I'm glad to be here.
You know, Fritz, last time you were here, you were just really starting out in the position, and you've been there a while now. And as we find ourselves in the midst of Catholic Schools Week, you've got kind of a whole experience now in Catholic education behind you. What have been some of the highlights of this last year?
One of the first things is in the fall, our girls volleyball team went to state. So that was a lot of fun. We were able to take busloads of kids down there and enjoy that. But as far as being in a Catholic school, a lot of the different events and expectations that aren't present in a public school, particularly Catholic Schools Week. This is a week that's non-existent in public schools, but it's one that the kids really look forward to, and it's a way to really celebrate how we're different than a public school.
And what would be some of the hallmarks of a Catholic school that really stand out in why parents send their kids to our Catholic schools?
Well, I think first and foremost, the fact that we are faith-based and we're able to proclaim our faith and share our faith without any fear of retribution or someone looking over our shoulder. So it's really, we're able to share probably what is most deeply important with our students and help them grow in that part of their lives. Besides that, we have real strong academic programs, strong athletic programs, and it's just a sense of family. At least I found that at St. Thomas Aquinas. Both the parents and the students, they're just out, everybody's looking out for each other.
Well, you mentioned that, and I really think that's kind of a hallmark of our Catholic schools, is that people feel a sense of being together and that whole family atmosphere. Even if there are those who are non-Catholic that are part of the institution, they're still part of our family. And so in Catholic education, that's really something that's important for us.
Definitely. And even though they may not be Catholic, there are so many aspects of our faith that we share. So we're able to kind of focus on those and still bring everybody together.
And we know that there's been recently some reorganization in kind of the structure at both St. Thomas Aquinas and also Central. You share one president and also a common board of directors. How has that been working?
Well, it's been working great so far. Our president, Dan Gravo, he's able to split time between the two schools, but he's able to be there at each school when it is most important. So it's been great to have him, for me, to have a president to help me out and share some of the aspects of running a school, more the business aspects, I would say, that he gets involved in. But so I think it's been working out great.
And as you look down the road, what are some of the things that you look forward to for yourself with Thomas Aquinas?
Well, I think we're at a point right now where we have an opportunity to really build. Our enrollment is at a juncture now where looking in our partner schools that feed into us, that they're growing, and I think we're going to be growing right behind them. And I think we have a time of anticipation that we only have a brighter future ahead of us here. So I'm excited about that.
I think one of the areas, at least in my experience, that might be untapped would be encouraging pastors and priests to kind of get more involved in the life of the schools. Of course, we're busy with a lot of other things, but how do you encourage the priests who are leaders and administrators of the parishes that feed into the high schools? How do you encourage them to really see what you're doing as important?
Well, we are fortunate. We still have Father Dyer around, who is our president emeritus, but he's available for the sacraments and that type of thing. But I know that Dan Gravo, since he's come on board, he's been going to the different parishes and meeting with the priests, but also making himself available after Masses to meet with parents or other people that have questions about Catholic schools. So in that way, we're trying to engage the parishes throughout Stark County with the two high schools, that parishes that support those two high schools. So that's one way that he's been doing it for our schools.
Let's go back to that whole sense that the middle school is also part of the high school. How has that been working? I know that structure is in other areas in our diocese as well.
Well, it's been great for efficiency. We have several of our middle school classes are taught by high school teachers. Even if they are middle school level, our sciences are all taught by high school teachers. Some of our math, some of our social studies, our English, some of it's taught with our high school classes, but the students are also able to take high school courses while they're still in middle school, taking Spanish 1 and algebra, and some of them are able to go ahead and take English classes, and they're able to get ahead, whereas if we were separate, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, we know that academics certainly is a high priority in our Catholic schools. I think another area is certainly discipline. That's always, I remember back when I was in high school a long time ago, that is something that's really a hallmark. It's also a teaching moment for our children and youth as well. In your experience, how has that been important?
Well, coming from public school, I find that discipline in the high school is very minimal. We're really dealing with minor issues. In the middle school, it's been a little bit more of a challenge because that's where our kids come together from several different partner schools. So we're bringing them together and teaching them how to act properly towards each other and speak properly. And it's kind of been an area where working with the teachers, we take a view that each student that comes to us, is a child of God, and we try to bring them along in whatever way is best for them, taking in their own wants and their own needs at that point.
One of the areas that I think really kind of stands out also among students in our Catholic schools is their sense of social outreach. They're concerned not only with one another, but I think beyond that. And how do you promote that and encourage that within the school?
Well, for our high school, we do have a service learning aspect to it where students have to do and document a certain number of hours each year, and it's progressive. 10 as a freshman, 15 sophomore, 20 as a junior, and then 30 as a senior. So that they do have to do that. We also have a retreat during their junior year where that's all they do. They go out and work in the community. And then we involve our middle school with different fundraisers in the school and canned food drives and things like that. So I think it's something that the students, when they come to our school, they know this is part of it. And we just try to teach it as part of a way of life. Even once you get out of school, you're still, we're not just working for ourselves. We're working to be able to share with others.
Well, Fritz Schleuter, principal of St. Thomas Aquinas, thank you so much for being with us, especially during this busy time of Catholic Schools Week. Please know of our prayers for you and also for the students and the staff there at St. Thomas. God bless you, and may you have a wonderful year.
Well, thank you very much, Father Korda, and thank you for your blessings.
For Wineskins, I'm Father Jim Korda. To receive more information on that and other issues, and to listen to Wineskins, visit the website of the Catholic Diocese of Youngstown at www.doy.org. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
January is Poverty Awareness Month. What does it mean to live in poverty? It means swallowing your pride when asked why you just don't move to a better apartment or get your kids' teeth fixed or 100 other things that cost money you just don't have. It's feeling hopeless because people who have better lives are convinced you did something to deserve your poverty. It also means getting assistance with clothing, food, shelter, and other basic needs. Heat during the winter season is one of those needs. Last year, Catholic Charities impacted 5,733 people through its utility assistance efforts. This urgent need for heat and utility assistance continues to rise. Keep the Kids Warm helps Catholic Charities provide direct utility assistance to families with children. Please support your parish collection for Keep the Kids Warm this year. For more information, visit www.ccdoy.org or call Catholic Charities at 330-744-8451.
Christopher Minutes. Thoughts on making every day count. Here's Monsignor Jim Lisanti.
Hello, friends. Here's a thought just for today. Guy Kawasaki, an Apple Corporation executive, offers these suggestions for business and for life. First, ignore people's current status. Letting status determine how you treat people is narrow-minded. Plus, yesterday's subordinate may be tomorrow's peer. Second, help others. Don't do things for others to get something in return. Offer to help because it's the right thing to do. The help you give today can come back to you in unexpected ways. Third, focus on little things. Thank you notes, baby gifts, simple acts of kindness. You will be repaid countless times. Fourth, there is enough good fortune to go around. Someone else's good luck doesn't take away from yours. Finally, give back, whether through your church or through charitable organizations. Share the blessings you've been given.
By the time we can walk, each of us yearns for the joy that comes from being able to do for ourselves. Church World Service believes that being self-reliant is a joy everyone should share. So around the block or around the world, share the joy. Church World Service.
Our song today is by Monica Brown. It is from her CD entitled Comfort My People.
souls. I myself will comfort my people. I will speak to their hearts. I myself will lead them through darkness. I will be their God. I hear the cry of my people. I know the hunger of my poor. I share the pain of the broken. I feel the shame of those who fail. I myself will comfort my people. I will speak to their hearts. I myself will lead them through darkness. I will be their God. See how the darkness is fading. See how the dawn now breaks through. See how the desert is blooming. See how my word is now fulfilled. I myself will comfort my people. I will speak to their hearts. Speak to their hearts. I myself will lead them through darkness. I will be their God. I will be their God.
Our scripture reflections for this fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time will be by Father Jack Lavelle. He is pastor of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church in Niles.
As we gather together and celebrate the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time, the connection between the first reading today and the Gospel is so very strong. Moses, in the first reading from the book of Deuteronomy, tells the people that God Himself will raise up a prophet for them, one who is their own relative, and one to whom they should listen. We who follow Jesus come to recognize that He, Jesus, is the fulfillment of this prophecy, and even more than we could ever have imagined. He is our relative. In human likeness, in all things except sin, He shares deeply in our humanity. He speaks to us about God. The challenge, and this also comes from Deuteronomy, is to listen to Him and to follow His words. The Gospel of Mark today tells us about Jesus in the synagogue at Capernaum. Jesus teaches as one having authority, and the people recognize this authority immediately. Even Jesus commands unclean spirits, and they obey Him. This scares the people, and they are no longer certain that Jesus comes from God. They have become accustomed to a safe practice of their faith, and the actions of Jesus begin to challenge their sense of security. Jesus challenges them, and He challenges us. Faith in God is not about being secure. Faith in God is about having a living relationship with God, a personal relationship, an intimate relationship. And because of that relationship, doing the will of God in every aspect of our life is what we should seek. Far too often, we hope that if we just do the right things, we can somehow achieve salvation. We need to become acutely aware of this difference between performing actions to appease God and acting out of a deep personal relationship with our living God. In the second reading, from the first letter to the Corinthians, we are shown the advice of St. Paul. This is advice to people about how to live. St. Paul wants the followers of Jesus to be free of anxiety, and so he counsels chaste celibacy for the sake of the kingdom. We know that St. Paul never imposed this celibacy as a requirement. Rather, St. Paul counsels women and men that chaste celibacy might be a better way to live in order to give one's energies to the living God. Counsel to others is to help them seek God with all their being. Counsel is to help others live fully because of their personal relationship with the Lord. The Christian tradition recognizes both chaste celibates and married women and men as saints, those who have followed God as completely as possible in this life. When we read an honest life of a saint, we begin to understand a bit of what it means to live out of a deep personal relationship with the Lord. For indeed, no saint was perfect, but in striving to follow the Lord more faithfully each day, they were able to imitate His love and generosity and compassion, and to fulfill whatever mission God had called them to live. God has raised up a prophet for us, Jesus the Christ. God has given us His own Son to be our Savior, Jesus Christ. It is this Jesus who challenges us today to see His presence in our world and to respond with our whole being to that presence. You and I can convert the whole world if we live that deep, intimate relationship that God offers. For Wineskins, I'm Father Jack Lavelle.
We in the Church have no authority over people to force them to listen to our message. What we do have is the persuasive love of Jesus. We need to persuade people of the truth and sincerity of our love for the Lord, and that will win people over. Wineskins is made possible by the annual Bishop's Appeal, the Catholic Communication Campaign, and St. Paul's Catholic Books and Gifts. The program is produced by CTNY, the Catholic Telecommunications Network of Youngstown. I'm your host, Father Jim Korda, wishing you a blessed Sunday and a safe week, and prayers and blessings to all of the young people, teachers, and staff in our Catholic schools.